let's take a quick look at ag weather. Don't have much time. 78 in Del Rio, 76 in Uvalde, 74 in Hondo, 75 in San Antonio. We'll call Gonzales 73, Georgetown 70, and Carrizo Springs 77. Neighbor, let's enjoy this first glass of iced tea while we take a look at the commodities, courtesy of the good folks at McCoy's Building Centers, McCoy's.com. March corn, 601 3/4, up 3 1/4. March Kansas City hard red winter wheat, 849 even money, up 7 1/2. March number 2 cotton, 109.02, up 173. February live cattle, 137.27, up 35. March feeder cattle, 161.95, up 12 1/2. February West Texas intermediate crude, 71.69, up 55. There are your commodities of ag interest. Neighbor, now it's time for a Texas Farm Bureau feature. Let's choose a vignette from Texas Farm Bureau Roundup. Did you know that the Mexican government is flooding the United States with inferior grapefruit, and it might have an effect on future grapefruit consumption? And the Biden administration and the USDA has turned a blind eye. The Valley's Jim Hearn reports.
A flood of immature grapefruit is entering the U.S. market, and our own agriculture department is letting it happen. The USDA order, it's called patch number 065, has suspended border inspectors of Mexican grapefruit. By using an administrative order, it's also been able to bypass the required public comment period. Now, what's at stake? USDA inspectors are no longer able to use juice content as a measure of maturity, a long-established test for quality of grapefruit. The Texas Cooperative Extension Service, which has no regulatory activity but monitors these imports, inspected 51 loads of grapefruit in September and October. They pulled 174 lots for inspection, and they found that 149 of those lots, or over 85%, would have previously been rejected for sale to American consumers. Now, the movement of cheap imports could cost Texas growers over $70 million annually due to the suspension of the juice content, and also about 1,000 jobs if it's allowed to continue. The Texas citrus industry has spent millions of dollars to promote Texas grapefruit. Its reputation, they say, is at stake. Growers are worried that if U.S. consumers take this inferior grapefruit home and it has no juice or taste, it would jeopardize any future sales. Texas Ag Commissioner Sid Miller and Florida Ag Commissioner Nikki Freed have sent strongly worded letters to the Secretary of Agriculture about the problem. They say the freeze, greening, and loss of access of foreign markets due to supply chain issues are all causing many problems for U.S. citrus producers. The USDA has failed to answer those letters. Now, many Valley producers are calling this an industry killer if allowed to continue, and we thought battling back from a devastating freeze was going to be our biggest concern. For Farm Bureau Roundup, this is Jim Hearn in the Rio Grande Valley.
When we moved to Texas, we were like fish out of water. We didn't know anyone in our neighborhood until our Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent came to the house. She was so helpful and reassuring, a friendly face with that Texan hospitality I'd heard about. When we purchased a Texas Farm Bureau insurance policy, we knew we were making the right choice. We knew our family would be protected.
Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance today at tfbinsurance.com to find an insurance agent who's a true neighbor. Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Neighbor Hop Singh says he's ready to plate up the chicken fried steak, jalapeno gravy, Nanny's yeast rolls, and a cold cucumber salad. I've got a glass of iced tea and a cup of coffee, whichever you prefer. We just prefer you sit down and drink one or the other and eat your steak with us while we talk to Benny Cox from Producers in Cargyle. Benny, how was your last sheep and goat sale?
We started off with 3,700 and we caught a bunch. We sold $55.99. We got along real good. We didn't have any wool lambs to talk about. These slaughtered lambs, they were kind of somewhere in the range of 10 to as much as $20 higher, which would have given them back all that they lost last week. You know, it got a little sticky with that 7,200. Slaughter ewes, crazy high last week. They kind of lost $5 or $10 yesterday. Still sold awful high. These kid goats sold mostly firm to $5 higher. Slaughter nannies sold in range from $170 to $225, but mostly $190 to $215. These slaughter billies anywhere from $2.20 up to $3.10. Wasn't a lot of those $3.10s, but lots of those things right up there in that $278. The spread on these lighter end of these slaughter lambs from $3 all the way to $440. The heavier weights from $260 up to $360. Slaughter ewes, they sell a range from $110 up to $2, but mostly $160 to $183, which is a lot of money to get back on one of those slaughter ewes, I can tell you.
Right.
Looking at these kid goats, they sell from $310 to $450. That's on the killing end of them, but mostly $360 to around $395, with some of these feeders up to as high as $454.
Benny, we've got sales coming up after the holiday. What do you anticipate?
Well, our first sale is going to be Tuesday, January the 4th. I've been surprised these numbers have held up as big as they have. Looks like the weather's going to be above normal for warm temperatures, so people are going to be able to move stuff. It's getting a bit dry here, and there's not a lot of promise of rainfall in January generally around here. I think people will continue to move some of these sheep and goats, but I don't think these numbers could be big until we get into maybe April or so.
And then cattle numbers?
We've got along really well. These numbers have picked up some for us. We got up in that 2,000 range and 1,700 and all that. I think most people have kind of gotten shed of most of their calf crops now, and I think everybody's going to be set back and worried about getting these right hitting the ground now. Well,
tell everybody how to contact you, Benny Cox.
Been calling me on my mobile. It's 325-234-4277. Office, same area code, 653-3371. Or they can always look at our web, which is producersandcargyle.com.
Merry Christmas, old man. Take care of yourself.
Back at you.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has protected fellow Texans with auto, home, health, and life insurance since 1952. With more than 260,000 square miles of land and 27 million people, that's a lot to cover. Whether you're wrangling cattle or wrangling kids, we're proud to protect Texans in all Texan ways of life.
Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance today at tfbinsurance.com to get insurance for Texans by Texans. Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Neighbor, when you hear Big River, it's time to head down to Washington County and talk to Doug Bass from Cattleman's Brenham. Doug, how was the sale on your side of the river?
We had a good sale, Mr. Larry. The old market looked steady all the way around. We ended up with 1,114 head of cattle. Good way to end the year. Like I said, the old market just hanging right in there.
Good. Let's walk those pins.
Yes, sir. On your weigh-in cows, your thinner, lower-yielding cows bring 20 to 52. Better high-yielding cows bring 55 to 79. Thinner, lower-yielding bulls bring 65 to 80. Better bulls bring 88 to 98. Had a few pairs. Pairs bring anywhere from 1,000 to 1,600. Red cows bring anywhere from 600 to 1,350. Calf market looks steady the week before. 2 to 3 weight steers bring 135 to 207. Heifers bring 121 to 175. 3 to 4 weight steers bring 130 to 190. Heifers bring buck and a quarter to 154. 4 to 5 weight steers bring 125 to 184. Heifers bring 120 to 180. 5 to 6 weight steers bring 120 to 167. Heifers bring 112 to 167. 6 to 7 weight steers bring 115 to 156. Heifers bring 110 to 152. Heifers bring 110 to 40. And 800 to 1,000 pound steers and bull yearlings bring 90 to 122. And your heiferettes bring 75 to 1.
We have a special coming?
We do on the 29th, week from today. Yes, sir. We'll have a darn good set of cows to offer to everybody. We're going to have probably right at 950 head of cows and around 50 head of bulls. Y'all can get on our website and look at some of the stuff. We've really got some really good sets of cows coming. I've got one man that's sending me 149 good ranch cows a man could want. Half and 3/4 blood, all raised together, bred to Charolais bulls. And another man sending me a really good set of Brangus cows, 50 of them same way, all one raising. Be heavy bred cows, bred to Angus bulls. Said you can get on that website and look, and if y'all got any questions, you can sure give me a call. We'll be starting there at noon on the 29th. It's cattleman'sbrenhamlivestock.com, which is 79877-4454. Our call there at the office, which is 979-836-3621.
We appreciate it. Y'all have a happy holiday, and we'll talk to you when the sales get started again.
That sounds good, Mr. Larry. We appreciate everybody. Y'all all have a Merry Christmas.
Neighbor, it's about time to grab yourself a bottle of water. Don't want you getting dehydrated. Need you back this afternoon to eat Kolach with us. Taking a look at the grains. December delivery of Milo through Corpus, March plus 85, 12.20. Yellow corn in December, March plus $1, 6.98 1/4. Hard red winter wheat to Houston in December, March plus 79, 11 1/2. The number one beans to Placido in December, January less 40, 12.68. 2,223 bale of East Texas and Oklahoma cotton, 14,634 bale of West. Brought anywhere from 102.27 on the low side to 104.77 on the high side. Neighbor, we are not a low-quality program. In fact, we think we're the highest of quality. In fact, we're the best darn farm show in 100,000 square miles of the great state of Texas. No brag, just fact. We're down on the farm and you're our neighbor, and you're the reason we are, because you're the best darn farm show listener. We hope all you darn farm show listeners come back this afternoon for a co-watch about 3:45. See you then.